World not ready for 240 million migrants if Nigeria implodes, UN warns. The United Nations has warned youths not to work against the interests of the country, saying the world will not be able to accommodate 240 million Nigerians as migrants should the country implode. Deputy Secretary General of the UN, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, said this in a statement signed by National Information Officer, UN Office Nigeria, Oluseyi Soremekun, cautioned Nigerian youths to start building the country with their God-given skills and talents. She spoke against the backdrop of the roles youths played in the EndSARS protest that eventually turned destructive following the hijack of protests by hoodlums as well as student attacks on the country by young Nigerians on social media. Excuse me, who is this person? Okay. The statement titled, "Be proud of Nigeria, don't condemn her or lose hope," read, "You've got education, you have the tools, you have a huge future ahead of you, and you are condemning yourself before you start on that journey, my dear. Do you understand the country? Do not do that. Be proud of Nigeria, your country. Do not condemn her and do not lose hope. If you think Nigeria is worse than better, then how are you going to turn it around? If you do not want to build this nation, I do not know where you want to go." Honestly, from a standpoint of, we're saying United Nations, okay, most of the countries in the world are in the United Nations, and 240, Nigeria is the most populous black nation on earth. So I understand the concern, because it's now like the aid that countries would need to then accept migrants, but then this just shows that, you know what, instead of the country imploding, let help in, putting out a referendum so we can just separate. We will just still be there, but we're just going to have borders within Nigeria, and there will be new countries. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. I can assure you the world is not ready to take 240 million Nigerians. Therefore, let's think of how to salvage it together. Mohammed was quoted as charging youths. On youths who were quick to compare Nigeria with other countries, Mohammed urged them to compare Nigeria with other countries with equal population and that had independence at the same time. Do not compare apples with oranges, she added. Listen, don't even compare at all. The fact that your country is not where you want it to be leaves you at a point where you decide, do we want to change it? And if you want to change it, how do you want to change it? This comparing and contrasting, listen, sometimes it makes you feel better, it makes you feel worse, but still, comparing does not help at all. The Deputy Secretary General, who was former Minister of Environment, stated further, "Whilst I still agree with the potential of the country has not been fully met by successive governments, I disagree with the view that there is no hope. I disagree with a total condemnation of Nigeria. Nigeria is a great country and the best on earth. With every right comes an obligation to tell the truth, but the truth in many cases come in different colors depending on who is telling it." Oh, so as an educated person, your statement has an impact on people's lives. Some people take you seriously because you're educated and in university. I think this is just a form of victim blaming at its highest cost. Okay, fine. I'm not saying the Nigerians are perfect, and I have not added to the current state of what the country is now. Of course, we make up our society, we make up what runs and what goes and all that. Okay, fine. We are the society. You understand that. But in that same breath, please criticize the government, because listen, you're the one that sort of has the power in a way to sort of, steer them in the right direction, in which they will make better decisions at top to make sure that the standard of living in the country is better. So in the same way you're saying, oh, be proud of your country, please do the same and criticize the government, because you're making it seem like Nigeria is just the problem. Listen, for the country to be successful, except we're gonna have, a free government, a free Nigeria free of a government or anyone leading them, the fact is you have to condemn, like, for the country to be where it wants to be, they have the cooperation of the leaders and the citizens have to be on the same page. They have to cooperate with each other if they want to achieve a certain goal, and that is just what it is. So yeah, weigh your words, youths advised. The Deputy Secretary General urged them to be sure of their statement and always weigh the implication of their words, noting that there were opportunities to collectively make things better in Nigeria. Young people must get involved. There is no reason to throw stones at any institution of any government unless you are willing to get into that government and do something about it. This sentence alone just showed that this one, we push to the side. You're just chatting. Honestly, you're just chatting. It might take you a lifetime. So it might take you a lifetime, and you're saying, "Oh, please," but it does require people to make the sacrifice. If enough of us are pushing in the right direction, there will be a big difference. The deputy scribe said. Recall that the United Nations Secretary Antonio Guterres had also, in the aftermath of the NSAS protest, warned against issues that could disintegrate the country and create refugee problems for Africa and the world. Listen, the only thing that she said that made sense here, that is only for her perspective and for the perspective of the world, is that, listen, okay, you deal with your own issues because the world may not be ready, absolutely not, to, take care to receive 240 million migrants. Of course, we're not saying everyone's going to leave the country and no one's going to be there, but we have to think of the worst situation here. And I understand that because the UN backs a lot of countries financially and all that. And again, it's like, as Nigerians, we need to think about this and listen. We don't have to involve the world, okay? We have to do with our own things the way we want to. But of course, you being part of the UN, it's just like, okay, you've just proven that you're on the government side 100%. Because the issue of education, of course, has to be provided by the government. Listen, that's why the government is there. There are certain goods or services that have to be provided by the government for things to actually happen. You're educated, you're this, you're that. You're telling the youth to... Everything is always the youth. The youth go through so much. Every time, the youth do this. The youth do... Youth. Yes, we understand that the youth, again... from, like, let's say 18 to like wherever, like 30. I think that's the most populous age bracket in the country. We understand that, but every single thing is down to the youth. The youth are not working hard enough. Do you know what an average youth goes through in Nigeria? And a lot of things would just be avoided if the government just did their job, their duty. If the government did not promote corruption, if they were not even kleptocratic at all, if they did not enable, if they do not continue, or if everything will be fine if the country stops enabling just mono-economic competition, even with like monopolies. This company, like, one company is doing sugar, cement, doing all these things, and then you literally deter entrance into your industry. We're not industrialized, absolutely not, and the government can make that happen, because the way they embezzle funds here and there, there are people getting married and they're dishing out 100 million naira to their wives to buy houses. I mean, the money is there, it's not that. And you know what they even did? They devalued the currency. So again, a lot of things would change. A lot of Nigerians would not even go into separation or anything else if the government just did their job. I am not saying, listen, human wants are absolutely insatiable. We understand that. But a lot of things that would push Nigeria out of a developing country state to being a developed country has to do with the government. Listen, the people will comply. Nigerians are the most hardworking absolutely on this earth. And for you to come to the youth and tell them, try harder, do this, do that, it's absolutely an insult. It shows you don't understand what an average Nigerian youth goes through. And the fact is, I'm not saying, okay, fine, let's start pitying Nigerian youth. Listen, Nigerian youths are off their backs and they're working 247, being innovative, trying to survive. So again, the only thing that made sense from what you said is literally that the world is not ready to to have 240 million migrants. It is a lot of people, and of course, you being the UN in charge of uniting most of the countries in the world, that is a lot, because you back a lot of countries, so you understand that. And honestly, that is all you should have said. You don't even condemn the government. You basically victimize the people and tell them that you are the problem, that your input only is the only thing that would make Nigeria change, when it's really not. The input of the government also has to be there. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.